What Frank Schleck's team has recently announced in a statement is that obviously he will be sent home as a result of this. It is an interesting one because this substance is what they call a specified substance, meaning it's slightly lower on the scale than perhaps something like an EPO or a blood doping substance. What you have in this instance is obviously a diuretic, so it in itself doesn't hold any performance-enhancing properties, but it has the capability to perhaps mask something else that a rider might be taking. So his team says that it has no explanation for why this would be in Frank Schleck's body, but it will accordingly follow the due process and request an analysis of the B sample. The rider's urine samples are separated into two samples, and they can, of course, request now that the B sample be tested to ensure that it is consistent with that initial result and that it wasn't perhaps something that was either contaminated or a testing anomaly.
So why has Radio Shack taken this decision? I mean, the UCI didn't immediately suspend him or ban him. Is Radio Shack just being preemptive? What exactly is behind this decision, do you think?
Well, it's essentially a recognition of the fact that if he were to continue, he would do so under a cloud. And on as we speak, there are numerous police vehicles and obviously quite a large media pack gathering outside the Radio Shack hotel. And what you have is a situation where it's quite clear that it would be very, very difficult for Frank Schleck to continue riding and to focus in any way on competing. And he currently lies in 12th position, so just outside the top 10, and it would be a very, very difficult ask for him to focus while obviously he has that cloud hanging over his head. So the statement from his team reads that accordingly he will leave the race to ensure that it can continue without having this cloud hanging over its head. And the other thing as well is that is a preemptive move on the team's behalf to say to the race organisers, hey, make sure you let the rest of us continue racing. We'll send Frank home, but obviously in the team's interests, they would like to stay in the race.
And James, just finally and briefly, a pretty bad year, you'd have to say, for Radio Shack. The team boss, Johan Bruyneel, has already left the tour after being named in relation to the Lance Armstrong investigations, so quite a depleted team now.
Well, that's right. In fact, Amy, Johan Bruyneel never even came to this year's tour, and they had one of their stand-in director sportif fill that role for him because of exactly that same reason, that he would have simply been under such great scrutiny the entire time. And they've also had some stories circulating about non-payment of rider wages. So it certainly hasn't been an easy tour for Radio Shack at all.